If you're someone who struggles with perfectionism, there's a question you might be asking yourself all the time without even realizing how much anxiety sits underneath it. What am I missing? And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with questioning yourself. Questioning yourself can actually be really healthy. We need to be able to step back, gain clarity, look at something from a different perspective and ask, is there something I haven't considered? But there's a very different quality to the question when perfectionism is driving it. It's not, is there something I need to understand? It's, what am I missing? I must be missing something. And that question often comes with fear. Imagine a very young part of you, a part that learned somewhere along the way it wasn't okay to make mistakes. Maybe making a mistake meant getting in trouble. Maybe it meant somebody was going to be upset with you. Maybe it created conflict. Maybe it meant disappointing somebody. Or maybe at a really deep level, you just learned that your worth was connected to how well you performed. So this young part constantly questioned things. Did I do it right? Did I miss something? What am I missing? Is something going wrong? And you and I both grew up. And these young parts, they didn't disappear. Now it just shows up in a more sophisticated form. We call it overthinking, being thorough, trying to make the best possible decision. But underneath it, there can be this very young part that says, please make sure we don't make a mistake because I don't know what happens if we do. And I think it's very important for us to understand perfectionism, that when we were younger, it served a purpose. It helped us feel safe. Maybe it helped us be easy and flexible to live with, so it made the people around us happy. Maybe it pushed us and motivated us to be great achievers, so we got a lot of praise and reward. Or maybe no one ever actually even told you that mistakes were okay to be made. We just grew up in a culture where grades, scores, achievements, all were the measures of our success, so we just learned that making a mistake, getting it right was good and getting it wrong was bad. But here's the thing, you can recognize that perfectionism protected you at some point. It kept you safe. It was a standard of your worth. Perfectionism now, though, actually keeps us stuck. It limits our potential. It makes us play small. It keeps us from taking risks that we need to take. It makes us super hyper vigilant around other people. And instead of giving us freedom, it keeps us living in fear and anxiety. And what we're really looking for is something different. We're looking for more freedom, more choice, more expansiveness, the ability to try something and see what happens, to see what works, to see what doesn't work, to make a mistake and not immediately turn that mistake into a judgment about who we are. Because a mistake is just information. It can teach you and I what works and what doesn't. It can build our resilience. It can teach you something really important. The game isn't over because something didn't work. So maybe the question isn't, how do I make sure I get this right? But maybe the question is, how do I develop enough clarity to make a choice and move forward? And if it doesn't work, that's okay. You get another opportunity to learn. You get to adjust. You can try again. So here's something maybe to try to practice, to move beyond letting perfectionism drive you and drive this question. When you notice yourself asking, what am I missing? Pause. Then ask yourself 3 questions. 1, am I looking for clarity or am I looking for certainty? What am I afraid of will happen if I make a mistake here? And what information do I actually need to make a choice and move forward? Then make the best decision you can with the information you have. And here's the really important part. You don't use this practice to try to find the perfect answer. The practice is about noticing when the perfectionistic part has taken over. And it's about giving you permission to move forward without complete certainty. You could finish the exercise with, I have enough clarity to make this choice and I don't need to know that it's a perfect choice if it doesn't work out. I can learn from it, I choose again. Your goal isn't to become someone who never makes mistakes. Your goal is to become someone who can make a mistake and then not lose themselves in that mistake. The mistake does not become the identity.